to add a map. First of all, we add two scripts.
حدا عنده سؤال هذا اللينك.
Yeah, first we add two scripts.
فورا ابدوا اكتبوا اسئله اذا حابين
So we add one script, not all that, one script for the map. This is the entire download of the map script. But the only thing it does is makes the API or the library of the map available.
Well, wait for a minute. So you mean I don't have to download and install anything?
Absolutely nothing. For this part, you can just contact directly to Google in the application. You don't need to keep it. And Google will update this script as we will update our maps too. And the second part is that we need a script to initialize the whole thing. And we put this in a separate file to make it more readable. And in this step, we also need to remember to call the initialize script. The initialize script itself is not much. This is the bare minimum you need. The latitude, longitude class you see on the top there is the most basic element of the entire Maps API. It simply says where a point is and add nothing more than that. To set up the map, we also need an options class which says which zoom it is, what kind of map, and then you initialize the map itself. The get element by id reference back to the ID sets I've used in the HTML page. And then you look at New York. Let's see how this code updates the page. So with this is all you need, and you all have the map. This map doesn't do much, but you can see that it goes directly. It shows the page where you set it to be, and it has all the functionality that Google Maps itself has.
We have some message saying that the font is too small. Is it better like this?
Yes.
You can go aloud yes to your
Yes.
It is better. So we're going to proceed like this. I'm sorry for that because we don't have live feedback, but we're trying to make our best so that you can see and get everything.
Yeah.
So please continue, Simon.
Yeah. With this file, we can do small funky stuff. At first, we can change the language. If you go to, if you go here, you can see, the language EN is as simple as this. Set it to AR, which is Arabic. Let's go back to the map. And now, the map itself will be translated with the functions and the buttons to Arabic. And this is all that's needed to internationalize this. The map here doesn't help me much since I don't read Arabic, so let's go back.
You mean you don't speak Arabic? They speak your language, they speak English, and you don't speak Arabic? That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame, but too many languages, you know. So, but we might also want to move the map to the place where the user actually is. It's not much more that's needed, but we need to select.
So I'm going to make a small comment here. It may sound magical to you. We're using a small trick to copy-paste the code very quickly so you don't see us typing. Once again, I insist, you might feel a little bit lost here. But the goal is that if you download this application later on, when you read the code, you will remember, oh yes, I remember this part is for setting the language, this part is for navigation. So don't be afraid if you're a bit lost right now. Things will be clearer and clearer during the presentation, and you'll be able to download the whole code in the end. So please, continue.
Yeah, there are two ways you can actually find out where the user is. There's one standard way, which most mobile phones, or modern mobile phones support. And you have a library from Google, which is called Google Gears. But that is a plugin you will have to install on the computer this is used from. So we will prefer the first one. Yeah. After this, there is a slightly more complicated step. It is more code, and it might be difficult to read, but I get you through it. Okay. So that is the code. Excuse me? Yeah. So, what has been updated here is basically this here. What this is basically saying to the browser, ask the browser where you are, and it has two functions which will be called. One, if it's successful, that is, the application is allowed to see where the user is. And the second function, which is called if the user do not allow to see its location. This way of programming is called callback functions. It is a very common way to program in JavaScript. It is a little bit hard to get around it the first time you do it, but it's basically saying, if it's successful, do this. If it fails, do that. And with the success, you get with the position of the user. So you're told here for the position, have a latitude and a longitude coordinate. Yeah. We create a latitude longitude object the same way as we did in the start of this file, and set the center of the map with the same location as we've done before. The two versions of the function looks a little bit different, but does the same. It's because of the library. I'm not going to go through the second one separately. So let's see how this works in the browser. So let's load the map. This will take some time.
It will take some time to refresh on your site to see the map. Okay. Oh my god, bug. Well, it looks like we have a bug, so we're going to see live debugging of a problem.
Yes.
You see me opening a console? No, there is no bug. So it might just be that the window does not refresh.
Okay, let's try.
So we're going. So you have to trust us. It's working, but we have a problem with the connection right now. So we're going to continue, so we're not too late.
Yeah, but yeah. Okay, let's go to the next step. After this part, we want to be interactive with the map. In the HTML code, it's possible to call functions the same way you do it in JavaScript. So here you can see that you can move the map with a function, and we give it the exact position of the place we just want to move it to. Now let's see how this works. So let's move to Cairo. It is worse. So now you can move the map around. Should refresh now.
We're going to wait a couple of seconds to be sure that you see Cairo.
Cairo.
And now we're going to go to Amman.
Now we go to Amman. just one click away. Okay. Now, at that step, that's pretty amazing. I mean, what we have done is basically, 20 lines of code, and it works, and you have everything, and there is nothing to download. Well, is it that simple to learn? How many times did it take you to learn actually the API? To get this far on the API and this program here, it took me about 1 hour, including checking the API out. And I must admit, I've actually not seen the code of the API before I started that. The second part, which is the next I will do here, took another 1 hour. So in total, 2 hours of programming is enough to do all this.
Wow, so you mean, I really want you to remember this. Nowadays it's possible to make very complex things, such as a dynamic map, where you can navigate, where you can add things, with only 2 hours of learning, a good text editor, and a web browser. So can we see some more functionalities?
Yes, let me give you a few examples. The first thing is to add markers on a map. The small red icons or iteron with funky text and stuff. What is added in the HTML is just another function call like this.
Hey, I'll make a small break. I see many questions about the fact that you would like to have the code right now, so that you could type it and you could follow on your computer with the code. Unfortunately, we will be able to put the code online only tonight. So we can't give you a link right now to download the code right now. We'll give you the link at the end of the class, or we'll make it available online, because it's going to take some time for us to put this code online. So we apologize, and somehow it's better because you can focus on the screen. I apologize for those who have a laptop and would like to be on the code at the same time, but the code will be available only tonight. So let's continue, and I hope that is not too much of a problem for you.
Yes. So we can do the same as we did with the centering of the map with a single function to mark the map. The call of the mark the map is not much either. If you go here, let me go down. And this is the entire function to add the map. You create a latitude, longitude object just as before, and then you create a marker object. And you see here, you also see that I'm referencing the window ._map. And I also have made the map available in a script above here. And that's because without remembering the map, I wouldn't be able to add things to it. The new marker object needs only 3 things. It needs the position, which map to put it on, and a name. That's it. Now let's see how this looks in the browser. Okay. So we move here and see. We seem to have lost contact with somebody, so let's take a break.
اللينك هاي شيلها على السكرين عم بتضايقكم؟ خلص اخذتوا اللينك شيلها ولا خليه؟ في ناس بدهم اخليه بس ما تضايقش حدا.